everybody? It's Walter, your favorite historian, educator, professor, social studies extraordinaire, and blue-collar scholar. Today's date is December 15th, 2025. This video is entitled, Republicans Don't Give a Damn About Your Health. So recently in the U.S. Senate, two competing bills, one offered by the Democrats, the other offered by the Republicans, were defeated. Both were attempting to, in their own ways, address the impending healthcare nightmare in this country that will occur when the 2021 Obamacare subsidies expire at the end of this year. Now, for those unaware, those subsidies help out millions of people in their ability to afford healthcare, medical coverage in general. When they expire at the end of the year, premiums will skyrocket for approximately 22 million Americans. That ain't no small thing. And that's a shitstorm waiting to happen, to put it mildly. Okay? So the Democrats, of course, as we remember from the shutdown, obviously had wanted to extend these subsidies for at least another 3 to 4 years, whereas the Republicans seemed almost completely in opposition to doing this for whatever reason, I don't know. And in their counter proposal to the Democrats in the Senate, they, instead of subsidizing the insurance companies, what the Democrats want to do, the Republicans have some sort of Machiavellian plan that will give the money directly to the American people, who meet the qualifications for Obamacare, and allow themselves to get whatever coverage they want, theoretically saving them money and so forth and so on. This too was defeated in the Senate. And with the defeat of their bill in the Senate, this matter has been taken up by the House that has offered a similar proposal that is probably also likely headed for imminent defeat and disaster. Okay, so the bottom line is the Democrats want to extend the ACA subsidies to allow all these millions of people who have Obamacare to still be able to afford health insurance, whereas the Republicans don't want, most of them anyway, don't want to extend these subsidies, but would rather have that money given directly to the American people so that they can theoretically purchase whatever health insurance they prefer to have, that they can afford, and so forth and so on, with a whole lot of other red tape and guidelines. Trust me, the devil is in the details, okay? And my response to all of this, simply put, is that most Republicans don't give a damn about health care or whether or not you live or die. That is evidenced in the fact that whenever it seems that any meaningful or wholesome or substantive legislation is being flouted around by the Democrats that would actually cover millions of people, or combat the ability of insurance companies to bankrupt you with premiums and charge you exorbitantly ridiculous out-of-pocket co-pays and deductibles, they seem to be in opposition to it. They claim to care, and they don't give a damn. They don't care about you. They really pretend to care, but their care is evidenced only in what they do not tackle, and that is the ability of the insurance companies to charge you exorbitant rates. Okay, if they really cared, they would tackle that. Once you start there, then we can go further. All right. To me, Republicans don't really care whether or not the average person has any affordable medical coverage. They really could care less. Democrats, many of them don't care either, but at least they put on a good game of pretending to care. Most Democrats absolutely would support the concept of a single-payer healthcare system in this country. I myself would absolutely positively support that. I have private health insurance through my employer, okay, like millions of other Americans. And I have no problem with it. But if they wanted to institute a single-payer healthcare system in this country, I would not oppose it, okay? Democrats have long supported this. Republicans have long opposed it. Why? Because the medical lobby will fight it every time, okay? Now, Republicans honestly make a very bad display here, because they will now be on the hook with the defeat of these bills and their counter proposals to the Democrats, which pleases absolutely nobody. They will now be on the defense here, just like they will be on grocery prices, just like they will be on affordability in so many other ways, in allowing healthcare to skyrocket on 22 million Americans. And the serious irony here with it all is that millions of these people live in red states and are under Obamacare coverage, and will indeed remember this come next year. Okay? Republicans like to trash Obamacare like it was the worst thing ever enacted by the United States Congress. However, it is the sole thing making sure that millions of their own constituents have any form of health insurance, any form of medical coverage whatsoever, so that, you know, a routine procedure will only cost them $200 rather than $10,000. But that's a bad thing, right? Okay, at least according to Republicans. You know, Republicans really don't give a damn about making sure that Americans have health care. Most of them, at least that, you know, have that mentality, have private health insurance, or of course, like most Americans, it comes through your employer, so they could give not 2 cents whether or not, you know, much lower income Americans have any sustainable or decent coverage at all. They're willing to let these subsidies expire so that millions of people will now have coverage that they can't even afford, which means you don't really have any coverage at all when push comes to shove. If the Republicans really gave a darn about making sure that everybody had some sort of decent basic minimum level coverage, they would not oppose extending the Obamacare subsidies that the Democrats want to. But Republicans want to claim to enhance personal choice by using such funds to give it directly to the people who meet the guidelines, so that they can go on about their business and purchase whatever type of health coverage they want, expand consumer choice, and so forth and so on. Don't get me wrong, I am a huge believer in consumer choice, but this is nothing but a setup, okay? You're not going to get that much money from either one of those plans to be able to really make a huge difference in coverage from what you already have, okay, if you're on the Affordable Care Act plans. It's not going to be that much, and essentially it's still going to be coverage that you probably can barely afford. So don't fall for their snake oil. They are good at telling a whole bunch of lies to get people entrapped in this nonsense. But like I said, if they really cared, they would extend those subsidies, and then hopefully a bipartisan deal can be reached on how to truly fix our broken ass healthcare system in this country. Okay, regardless of how you feel about the establishment of a single payer healthcare system in America, okay, opinions vary greatly on that, whether in favor or against. But in any case, the healthcare crisis in this country definitely needs to be addressed. Okay, insurance companies need to be reined in. Medical standards need to be up to date and corrected. Okay, and affordability needs to be addressed across the board. Okay, like I said, I would absolutely support a single payer healthcare system in this country. All right, if you think that our current system is working fine, well, I question your judgment. In the richest nation on earth, nobody should have medical bills that will literally send you into bankruptcy. If you think that our private employer-based healthcare system works in this country, nobody should die because they can't afford open heart surgery or quadruple bypass surgery. Okay, and if you can't afford those surgeries by way of whatever means, you shouldn't be left with $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 medical bills. So yes, Republicans do not care whether you have those problems, and they don't typically care whether or not you have any sort of medical coverage, as long as their pockets get fatter. Okay, we need healthcare reform in this country. How that's going to happen, I don't know. But I'm here to listen to everybody's opinion on this subject, so leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to engage in good, fruitful discussion. Please like this video, please share this video, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for listening. Stay safe out there. I'll talk to you at the next one. Professor Shelton, the Blue Collar Scholar, out.